late. Apologies, it's been pretty busy around here. This is the update notes for version 109.1.109.2 Spry that just went out. I'm going to talk about the different features that have been added. We'll start with the database upgrade comment. So you will get a prompt when you open a model. If you haven't gone through this before, it's pretty normal. In order to add some of the functionality, we create some upgrades in the database that are not backwards compatible. Everyone has access to the latest version of Spry. So if you're sharing models with people and they're unable to access that shared model, you need to let them know that their Spry is out of date. The Spry will also prompt to say that the upgrade has occurred as well. So the next one here with calendar post-schedule tasks. So this one has been asked for a while. A little bit trickier than your normal post-schedule task. It's taken a little bit longer to get it done properly. But you'll see now in your post-schedule tasks list, you have this copy schedule results to calendar table. So there are some fixes for these stretched out icons, by the way. They're being tested in beta at the moment. But in terms of the way that they work otherwise they work pretty much exactly the same way that a regular post-schedule task works. Instead of aggregating to a node on the table, like a single record on the table, like you'd think of a dig block, they're aggregating to a single record on your calendar table. So you'll be summing or averaging the number of hours that you work during that reporting period or during the calendar period and writing it back to the table. Yeah, not too much more to add with that. If you don't get the expected results from your post-schedule task with calendars, let us know. Shoot us a line, support@precisionmining.com, or give us a call during business hours. The next part of the update included solid depletion mode. So the major reason for this is, I'll go and show you where that lives in the animation section here. When we introduced the solid reading, so the ability to cut your solids based on a grid or triangulation, there are people they had an established initial state process that they were happy with, and if you wanted to get the new cut solids that the relimiter would provide, but also continue to use normal initial state behavior, then what you would end up doing is cutting the solid once through the relimiter, but then the initial state depletion would also, like if you had 50% of the record that should have been removed, you'd end up removing 50% with the relimiter, but then another 50% because you're initial stating it. So if you're in a position where what you want are the nice cut solids from the relimiter, but to use the normal initial state behavior to reduce your solids, there's a handful of reasons why you might want to do that, then you can use this solid depletion mode and change it. We've tried to be pretty explicit with the language here, so you know what behavior you're going to get, which is pretty much that your solids will be full at the scheduled start date, and we'll change the rate that they deplete. So if they were going to deplete at a certain rate, then if you're 50% complete, you'll deplete twice as fast in order to end up at the same 0% when you finish the task. If that doesn't behave as you expect, once again, please let us know if you have any questions about how it works. The third and final major update here is mostly one that if you're a regular Spry user, you're not going to have any interest in for the time being, which is that in the animation and design sections, that shapes and any kind of design item can have attributes written to it. So if I want to have a look at writing a particular type of volume or value to a shape, I can actually assign them now using the attributes. Now, as a regular user at the moment, if you're not scripting, there's not really anything else you can do with them. So a lot of the work that's been done here is background work. But in terms of what you can currently do, you can add the different types of fields, effectively the same kinds of fields you can add to a regular table, except you don't have solids. So if I add an attribute here and I call it area, for example, and I'll hit apply. And then what I can do against the shape itself, if I look at shape here, we've even hidden it actually from the user interface in the regular release. Yeah, so you can add the attributes at the moment, but you can't otherwise visualize them. So as I said, as a user that's not scripting, I wouldn't worry about it. If you think that if you are a scripter, if you are the kind of person that's more advanced and you want to investigate how you can use these, once again, shoot us an email. Scripts are unsupported, so you're not going to get that ad hoc support that you can normally get. But if you shoot us an email, we'll respond and let you know how you can access um, that information. But otherwise, the rest of the rest of the patches are to do with fixes. We've got the one that I'm referring to, the big icons that you see to the calendar post schedule tasks. We've got a beta running at the moment with a whole lot of small fixes that individual users have had small issues. We're just testing all those at the moment, and we'll let you know when that is up. As always, if you have any questions about how this stuff works, let us know. And if there's anything that you want to see from the next version of Spry, we're always interested in understanding what features and uh, what functionality you're chasing from the software. Thanks for listening if you're still here, and we'll see you next time.